time to fly away. Let's leave the world behind a little while and go to where the skies are never gray. Find our hideaway, a blue lagoon, our own uncharted isle. Just close your eyes, we'll fly away. We can go anywhere our hearts will take us to, from Tahiti to Timbuktu. At any moment we'll be there. Feels like heaven when I hold you and we soar into the sky. It's time for us to fly away. We can go anywhere our hearts will take us to, from Caracas to Kathmandu. At any moment we'll be there, and we don't need wings, don't need a plane, and it's no wonder why we were born to fly away. Let's just fly away. Every night we'll fly away. Every night we'll fly away.
Got me hovering high on the branch of a tree. I'm through unless you say yes to me. ASAP, out on a limb like a fidgety kitty cat, hanging on by all fours. I'll be jittery till you consider me yours. If that bough should break in two, don't send a fire brigade. If anyone catches me, let it be you, then I'll have it made in the shade. Out on a limb, gambling everything, gladly risking it all. My prospects are chancy, I'm getting antsy, the future is yours to call. Out on a limb and aching to take a fall. Should break in two, don't send a fire brigade. If anyone catches me, let it be you, then I'll have it made in the shade. Out on a limb, gambling everything, gladly risking it all. My prospects are chancy, I'm getting antsy, the future is yours to call. Out on
everybody, whoever's there, paying attention and some such junk. Welcome to Coffee Talk, where we talk about all sorts of topics in a manner that, well, very few other people talk about them about. I am here with my executive producer and editor of my blog, Merlin Wolfhound.
That sounds so lovely. I like that. Just make my day.
And Mitch the Ripper.
I live in a fluffy nightmare.
Telling you, that was the weirdest dream you ever get described in my entire life, man. It is a weird dream. Okay, tonight we are going to be going over, earlier this week, I reported, thanks to a hellbound Iscariot, that Trump is proposing to make certain changes to the SNAP program. SNAP is a fancy word for food stamp program, or a fancy acronym for food stamp program. That doesn't stand for food stamp program, but we'll get to that in a minute. We're going to start with the article that I took the summary out of for a few days ago on the show, titled, Trump Administration Wants to Decide What Foods SNAP Recipients Will Get, which is a bit redundant since SNAP is Supplemental Nutrition something program.
Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program.
Thank you. I always forget the assistance part. All right, here we go. The Trump administration is proposing a major shakeup in one of the country's most important safety net programs. Hi, Panina. Hey, Mario. And I think those are the only two. Oh, and my hubby. Hello, hubby. How you doing, hubby? The hubby's here. Can't forget the hubby. Hubby's very important. The Trump administration is proposing a major shakeup in one of the country's most important safety net programs, quote unquote, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps. Under the proposal, most SNAP recipients would lose much of their ability to choose the food they buy with their SNAP benefits, which we're going to get into in a moment. The proposal is included in the Trump administration budget request for fiscal year 2019. It would require approval from Congress. Under the proposal, which was announced Monday, low-income Americans who receive at least $90 a month, just over 80% of all SNAP recipients, would get about half of their benefits in the form of a USDA foods package. The package was described in the budget as consisting of shelf-stable milk, probably powdered milk, ready-to-eat cereals, pasta, peanut butter, beans, and canned fruit and vegetables. The boxes would not include fresh fruits or vegetables. No, because those are perishable items. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't buy milk in the store. I actually order it, and it's a number 10 can. That's the big tin can of powdered milk. I've had this can. I'm only now getting. It's the first one. I'm only now getting to the bottom of it. I've had it for over half a year.
Hmm.
And it's fantastic. I mean, it doesn't bother me. It might bother some people. It doesn't bother me any. I mean, because I can use it in recipes. I can use it just to eat my freaking cereal. Wait, my volume's low.
I don't know, but the Discord's turned all the way up. Says it can't hear you. Huh. That is strange. Hang on, let me come in and see what's going. Let me see. Hang on. Let's try this.
Okay.
All right, now yap.
Now we're in the middle of a mystery.
Now they should be able to hear you. Now I fixed you. Now you may have to repeat yourself, though.
You know
fine.
what I hope for?
Okay.
I hope the box contains classic.
Oh, we'll get to the classics in a minute. We'll get to the classics in a minute. All right,
But,
as you
in
were
the
saying,
chat,
Mitch.
can you guys hear us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go.
All
Okay.
right. Hi, Panini.
Now.
How you doing?
Now, as I was saying, I bought a number 10 can. That's the big can of powdered milk about 6 months ago. Still going through it. Just now getting to the bottom of it. It's cheaper than buying regular milk, and it's not that bad.
No.
It just add water, stir it up. There you go. Cereal, hot cereals. Using it in recipes and stuff to give stuff a creamier flavor and whatnot. I don't.
Is it for your coffee?
No, I don't. I use
Okay.
something else there. But you
Okay.
know, I save a lot of money buying it, so I can't afford to use other stuff in my coffee.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
understandable.
It does. It lasts a good long time if you if you're not a moron.
Yeah. Yep.
But most of us are morons, though.
Well, yeah, if you don't wrap it in plastic and think you can fry it and eat it, you should be okay.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
pretend it's cocaine.
Right. All right. Currently, SNAP beneficiaries get money loaded onto an EBT card they can use to buy what they want, as long as it falls under the guidelines. The administration says the move is a cost-effective approach with no loss in food benefits to participants. Good evening, Malachite. The USDA believes the state governments will be able to deliver this food at much less cost than SNAP recipients currently pay for food at retail stores, thus reducing the overall cost of the SNAP program by $129 billion over the next 10 years. So this is going to be a gradual savings, not a, we do this now and blam, we have more money for the budget.
Nope.
That's not the way these things work. This and other changes in the SNAP program, according to the Trump administration, will reduce the SNAP budget by $213 billion over those years, cutting the program by almost 30%.
Yay.
Yep. Joel Berg, CEO of Hunger Free America, a hunger advocacy group that also helps clients access food assistance services, said the administration's plan left him baffled. Quote, they have managed to propose nearly the impossible, taking over $200 billion worth of food from low-income Americans while increasing bureaucracy and reducing choices, unquote, Berg says. It's nothing different from what people buy. You buy milk, you buy pasta, you buy rice, you buy peanut butter. I mean, it's not like you're not buying these things already.
And these products are nutritional for you. It covers all the basic food groups.
Mm-hmm.
At a good price.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
he says
it's just the food does get boring.
it does. I mean, you can only have so many beans.
that's why
even pizza, man.
Yeah.
That's why it's an
Pizza
incentive
gets
to
boring.
get off the food stamp program.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yay.
He says SNAP is efficient because it is a free market model that allows recipients to shop at stores for their benefits. The Trump administration's proposals, he said, is a far more intrusive big government answer. Hey, G. Bronner, how are you doing? They think a bureaucrat in D.C. is better at picking out what your family needs than you are. Hello, Mezzo Dragon over in the Twitch chat. How are you doing this evening? And hello, Fuckwad!
Fuckwad, Moose Cow. I missed you, man.
Lopez.
Douglas Greenaway, president of the National WIC Association, echoed that sentiment. Removing choice from SNAP flies in the face of encouraging personal responsibility, he said. He says the budget seems to assume that participating in SNAP is a character flaw. Okay. President of the National WIC Association. WIC, that makes a mother buy the worst formula for their child on the market unless they have a doctor's note saying that their child can't have that formula.
Yeah, let's face it. WIC is is sexist, right? It's right in the very name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
If we want to play the social justice type game
Yeah.
and the identity politics thing, it's women, infants, and children. Men don't get to eat for free.
Oh,
Nope.
man.
Panina Chan. Mopeds.
Naturally.
Naturally. It isn't
Mopeds.
Yep. It isn't clear how billions of dollars worth of food each year would be distributed to millions of SNAP recipients who live all over the country, including dense urban areas and sparsely populated rural regions. The budget says states will have substantial flexibility in designing the food box delivery system through existing infrastructure, partnerships, or commercial/retail delivery services.
I smell Amazon drones.
And can I say that the way they're making this argument, it seems so depraved.
It does, doesn't
I
it?
love it.
It does.
Yeah.
Does. Critics of the proposal said distributing that much food presents a logistical nightmare. Among the problems, it's going to be costly and take money out of the SNAP program from the administrative side. It's going to stigmatize people when they have to go to certain places to pick up benefits, says Jim Wheel, president of the nonprofit Food Research and Action Center. Most people think that just taking out the fucking food stamp card is stigmatized. I mean, it's just, there's no way around it.
You know what? It should be.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It should be, because I'm all for helping people. I'm all for giving people a hand up. But there are too many people out there who are using this as a handout. There are families that basically at this point, there are people who have grown up in this system and do not know how to get out of this system.
Yeah.
Because there is no way out of this system. If you're getting $400 a month from a system like this, and you make $20 a week in a job, they reduce your benefits to $300. That doesn't help you. That actually, that's like taking a pay cut. All it really does is it incentivizes you not to go out and get that work for $20 a month.
Well, it's like I had discussed earlier in the weekend before, whenever the food stamp issue comes up. When Ronan and I were working, or when Ronan was working, and we finally decided that we needed a vehicle, and his family helped us get one, we were no longer eligible for food stamps, and when we went back to see if we could recertify, they said we would have to get rid of the automobile because, in order to continue to be eligible for food stamps. So it's like, okay, you're trying to keep us on here when we're trying to show you that we're trying to improve our well-being and the way that we live in order so we don't, gradually can get off of them. You're just going to cut them off because we can have a car and we pay insurance?
I mean, what better way is there to create a slave nation?
I know, right? Fuck what? Oh my God! Loss of administrative money, the horror, less bureaucracy, whatever shall we do?
We'll call the female Ghostbusters.
Right. Stacy Dean, Vice President for Food Assistance Policy at the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities, called the proposal radical and risky. The idea that the government could save money by distributing food itself, she said, is ill-informed at best. Peanut butter. Government cheese.
Love the packaging.
Government powdered milk. I'm sorry. I have something stuck in my chest. It won't come up.
They do powdered cheese for cheese sauce, too.
Yeah, they do.
It's not like...
I can actually buy jars of that shit, and it'll put it in the pantry, and it'll last for months.
Yeah. I mean, they're acting like the government has never done this shit before.
And you know what this equals into? Incentive to get off the program.
Yeah.
That's what Trump's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, if you want to eat fancy one night a month, you're going to have to get off the program.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God.
No more lobsters. Oh, we have to keep on telling people that's only half their benefits.
Yep.
So they still have the other half to get the food they want.
And we should point out that the S in SNAP stands for supplemental.
Yeah, it's not
that means it's not the entirety of your diet. It means it's a supplement to your diet.
Say it isn't so. I can't use
oh
the
my
entire
God, I know.
thing
right there in the name too.
I can't.
I'm startled.
You mean I'm not supposed to use it to replace my entire food bill?
I'm startled. No. I'm startled. Mitch, you're scaring me. I'm startled.
I know, right?
You go out, you buy your bread with your money, you take it home, you put it on a counter, then you get your government peanut butter, you slap it on there. But you had to buy the freaking bread.
Yeah, exactly. It isn't clear. Now here comes. Okay, now they're trying to make people look stupid. It isn't clear whether the boxes will come with directions on how to cook the foods inside. Cereal, add milk. It could be something that SNAP recipients don't even know how to make. Pasta has directions on it. Rice has directions on it.
Water. Boil.
Canned fucking fruit. Open can. Put in bowl. Come on, people. Notes Miguelina Diaz, whose team at Hunger Free America works directly with families to help them access food aid. We deal with different people of different backgrounds. Limiting them by providing them a staple box would limit the choices of food they can prepare their families. Hey, Chagrin.
That's the idea.
Yeah. Hey, come on.
Can I say that they say we're stigmatizing them when they're saying these statements saying that these people are stupid?
They're too stupid to make noodles, rice, and cereal.
How do I open the box? I cut myself on the box.
I know, right? According to Dean from CBPP, the Trump administration wants to trim an additional $80 billion from the SNAP program by cutting off about 4 million people who currently receive food assistance. Most of them live in states that have decided to loosen the program's eligibility requirements slightly. Under the administration's proposal, states would no longer be able to do so. Chagrin. Dude, that's saying they're too lazy. Exactly. That's our point. I mean, please. How do you not know how to make cereal? How do you not know how to make rice? How do you not know how to boil noodles? I mean, come on.
That's trying to keep the people under the thumb of the government.
Exactly.
It's like, were you ever a teenager? Crying out loud.
Right?
You know?
I don't remember. It's been so long.
Oh,
hey, Christ, there was a time in everyone's life where you basically lived on ramen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That is truth.
It's not complicated.
No, it's not. Agriculture. Here we go. Oh, Sonny Perdue. Oh, Lord.
Here I go.
From Georgia. He came from Georgia. I hate to claim him, but yeah, he came from Georgia. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue said in early December that he wanted states to have more flexibility in doling out SNAP, announcing the agency wanted to hear about programs from states that don't increase the cost of the program and will combat what he said is fraud and waste. At the National Grocers Association conference over the weekend, Perdue said the budget has, quote, common sense reforms that call for greater consistency across nutritional programs, unquote.
Listen, all you have to do is go to a grocery store, pick up a box. There's over 650,000 retailers that want to do this. Get good, easy money from the government for doing this.
I mean, don't tell me that, when you do the food drives where you put the cans in large boxes and stuff, there isn't a stigma behind people going up and getting those brown bags full of food. We do that already voluntarily.
Yeah, with cream corn, people give the worst of the food. Cream corn, spinach. I'd rather have a government that's going to, sort out the food for me than getting cream corn for the whole month.
Yeah. Chagrin says this is ridiculous. Every town I live in had churches with food banks. There are other options if you need help. Exactly.
Churches. Yes, churches will also be able to hold these boxes. Go by your local church. If you live in a rural area, you go by your local church. They'll have boxes there. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be hard. In fact, the system's going to be streamlined. That's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple. I like simple. Do you guys like simple?
We like simple.
Simple's lovely.
Simple is lovely. Nutrition programs, including SNAP, made up about 80% of the USDA's budget in the most recent Farm Bill, making it the largest portion of agency spending. About 44 million people participated in SNAP each month in 2016 at an annual cost of $70.9 billion. Nearly two-thirds were under 18 and over 60 or disabled, according to the USDA. Congress largely ignored Trump's proposed budget for SNAP last year when he wanted to cut the funding by a quarter. This time, it's a farm bill year, meaning many budgetary decisions will be made among the House and Senate Agriculture committees. Several critics we spoke with expressed skepticism that the proposed SNAP changes would pass in Congress, even though Wheel says, whenever you see proposals like this that attack SNAP, I like how they use that word attack.
I know, attack.
It harms the program, even if it doesn't pass. In the long run, reducing support for the program and stigmatizing people who use it. Look, the whole time I was on food stamps, I didn't want to be on the motherfuckers.
Nope.
Fuck Quad, I love you, man. He says, my family used to get boxes of food from our church at the holidays. People donated ramen for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's just cold.
Yeah.
Yes, you form it into a little turkey.
Yeah.
Ramen turkey.
Ramen turkey.
It is cold on one level, but there's a lot of shit you can do with that ramen.
That's true. That is true.
You don't have to eat it straight. You can add stuff to it.
Oh, yeah.
Make it a proper soup.
Oh, yeah. Chagrin says the community centers here give the babies snacks and lunches through the summer.
That's awesome.
When you look, there's programs everywhere that already help people that are having a problem feeding their children. Okay, it's just to sit here and say that it limits their choices and, what if there aren't directions in the box? Okay, how stupid are these people?
And why are you making these people sound stupid? While you're saying we are stigmatizing them because they I can't say the word, I'm sorry. Mitch, help?
Stigmatized.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Them for, getting their cards or having to get the food and everything else, which it should be. But for them to call people stupid, that's just rude.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. When you go to the store and you have a limited budget, you look for things that are in bulk. You look for rice. You look for
lobster.
You look for the 5-pound box of fucking noodles. You look for the ramen noodles. You look for broth. You look for soup in large cans that you can mix the ramen into, or broth that you can, add to the ramen, and stuff for quick and easy sandwiches, and it's just because you're trying to make what little money you have stretch.
Yeah. You don't buy lobster. You don't buy steak. You don't buy the expensive items because you eat high on the hog. No. See, Trump Trump's just taking that out of the picture, out of the equation, which is love. I love it because now you're forced to eat the foods you're supposed to eat.
Yep.
And if you don't like it, guess what? Leave.
Well,
Get
yeah,
off.
I mean, something like this would eliminate all these people who are buying, 8 to 30 2-liter bottles of fucking Mountain Dew every month.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You can't afford it.
Mountain Dew is not. Oh my God! Not just Mountain Dew, but any of the sugar waters.
It's not it's not a necessity.
Well, not only that, it's not something that you're supposed to drink regularly. It's like a snack. It's like a treat.
Mm-hmm.
Drink some water. Drink some.
I live on Mountain Dew, so yeah, I am a cautionary tale when it comes to that.
Even the fucking juices out there, it's hard to find one that's not sweetened with high fructose corn syrup.
Yep.
They're also going to serve fruit juice as well in the boxes.
Yep. We've got Chagrin that says, well, I'll be honest, I've donated cheap stuff when that's all I could afford. I was eating cheap and giving cheap. G. Bronner. You know what's fucked up? My son's school told everyone at orientation to go apply for free lunch so they can keep providing free breakfast. I don't know exactly how that works, but I thought that was strange. Conservative Californian. Here in California, we could use supplies for our homeless, but our state government doesn't even do that.
No, the California government doesn't care about their people.
Nope.
Let me tell you how
time and time again.
Let me explain how government budgeting works. And this is straight from a horse's mouth. My brother was he was a cook in the Coast Guard. And he was stationed on many places in the Coast Guard, and every year, when he ran his kitchen, he would come in under budget. And he would not get promoted past a certain rank because of this.
Wow.
Basically because he was being responsible with the money he was given to do the cooking.
Yeah.
Not only did he come in under budget, he was able to give away free turkeys and hams to his staff.
Damn.
Every Thanksgiving and Christmas, and still be under budget.
Wow.
That's a man right there.
Yeah.
The Coast Guard did not like this because this is how government budgeting works. Yep. You have to justify the following year's budget by going over budget this year.
Yep. And they'll tell you that too. I remember in the Army they told us the reason we're doing this is so we get the funding for next year.
Yep.
Yes.
Now, speaking...
And it's not just military, that's government in general.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. They never make any sense.
Excuse me.
What?
Hello, dear.
Hello.
It's a wolf.
It's a wolf. We have a
It
wolf.
is a wolf.
Ruff.
Where are you, wolf?
Right now, I just passed through Modesto, California. I'm trying to get out of here.
Oh, please. Get out of there as quick as you can.
Quick, before the state catches on fire again.
I know, right? I think a lot of people are they're going on about all this attacking and things like that, but they're forgetting one thing. This isn't about people that actually need the program for any reason whatsoever. This is to punish those that are using the program and abusing it to the point where it's going bankrupt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, people consider this a lifestyle, and they enjoy being on food stamps for some reason.
Well, no, it's been validated as a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Over the
it
last
has been
40 years or
validated.
so.
Yeah.
There you go.
The problem... Go on, Ronan.
You can go into a lot of neighborhoods and ask around and everything, and there's a whole lot of people that will tell you step by step how to beat the system, how to get the maximum amount of food stamps, and still have someone that has a job bringing in a whole lot of money, and you go see them. Yeah, they're shopping with food stamps, but they got 2 new cars, a house full of brand new electronics and new furniture. They're paying on a nice place.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that later too, about the fraud that this program rots or remains, or a word like that. I'm not good with my words. I have a new mouth. It's under guarantee, so you have to forgive me.
Right.
That's fine. That's fine.
Speaking
I'll
of...
let you guys continue on and everything, so I can go back to driving here.
All right. Be careful, babe.
All right, Ronan. Take care, man. Good to see you.
Rock on, Ronan.
Okay. This is the CBPP.org, which is an organization. Yeah, I know, right? One of the government organizational sites, and yes, it backs up the $213 billion, and or nearly 30% cut, and the at least 4 million people losing SNAP benefits altogether. The cuts would benefit every type of SNAP participant, including the unemployed, the elderly, individuals with disabilities, and low-income working families with children. The proposed cuts would come on top of other administration proposals to shrink the safety net, particularly health coverage, and on the heels of a tax law that will mainly benefit the wealthy. Okay, that's slanted, because we've already gone through the tax law, and it doesn't really benefit the wealthy. Chagrin, there is no motivation to get off assistance. We both work, and we can't afford daycare here. If you aren't qualifying for assistance, it's hard to leave. Yeah. I mean, it's not that they're going to say, okay, we're cutting this, and you're screwed. The whole idea behind this, I believe, is just to gradually get them off of this so they can stand on their own. But there's so many other things that you need to implement with the system so they can be self-sufficient. You know?
For one thing, if you're making that $20, yeah, cut the benefit by $20. Don't fucking cut it by 50 or 100.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Again, here we are, three assholes on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Shift more than $260 billion in food purchasing from individual households to the government. The budget proposes radically restructuring how SNAP benefits are provided. With public-private partnership with some 260,000 retail stores that Merlin mentioned earlier, around the country in favor of a new government-driven approach. Let me see here. Instead of letting households that receive more than $90 a month continue to use their SNAP benefit to buy at their local grocery store, they will hold back an estimated $24 to $29 billion per year in household benefits, about 40% of the benefits issued to such household. So it's not exactly 50%, it's more like 40%. A box of non-perishable foods such as shelf-stable milk, ready-to-eat cereals, pasta, peanut butter, beans, and canned foods. The other half of the held-back funds would also be cut. So, I mean, it's staple stuff you buy anyway. It's stuff in bulk.
Sorry, guys. I'm having computer issues.
Okay.
So.
I mean,
what was the last thing you said?
That what's in the box is a box of non-perishable foods such as shelf-stable milk, ready-to-eat cereals, pasta, peanut butter, beans, and canned food. Stuff that you would probably get at a food bank. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, you know what? Here's something I just did, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I bought a couple of boxes of Chex. All right, the cereal Chex.
I like Chex.
And I'm not even eating that with my Happy powdered milk can. I just throw it in a bowl and I eat it like a snack.
Ooh.
I'm doing that instead of buying fucking Doritos at $3.50 to $4 a pop.
Yeah.
And it's good and it's filling.
Yep.
As well.
It works better as a snack. Don't think outside the cereal box, for Christ's sake. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say, even I were discussing this. This is why we need Labor Department to hook up with, this program to help people, with these little classes, with these little life hacks.
Mm-hmm.
So they can learn to push their money further and get enough food to last for the month.
Yep. I mean, it's just, instead of buying the pre-boxed au gratin potatoes, buy potatoes.
Yep. Learn how to use a knife.
A 5 to 10 pound bag of potatoes will give you mashed potatoes for, 1 to 2 weeks, depending on the size of your family?
1 to 2 days, depending on the size of my appetite.
Hey, Ichi Fatum, welcome to the Twitch side. Yeah, I mean, it's just, okay. The other bullet points say forces states to time limit food assistance to certain individuals who are not working at least 20 hours a week.
Awesome.
Apply SNAP's 3-month time limit for unemployed adults who aren't disabled or raising minor children to people up to age 62 versus 49 under current law. So they're going to want to stretch that to 62.
By the way, I'm going to go to Chagrin's house for dinner because she says she spends $50 a week and she makes yummy, delicious food.
Look, she keeps putting pictures of cupcakes on Twitter.
Oh, you're evil. You're making me drool now. Stop.
Right?
Oh, yeah. G. Bronner brings up a good point. How cheap is oatmeal?
Point.
Yeah, how cheap is oatmeal? Mm-hmm.
And it stretches the long way and it fills you up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it sticks to your ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Stray Sith Male.
But people don't want to, for some reason, so-called bring themselves that low to eat like that.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You eat when you go hungry for a little bit.
Yeah.
You'll
Exactly.
eat what you can eat.
Yeah.
Yep,
You'll eat whatever you can hold down.
that's right.
Yeah, most definitely. Let me see. Eliminate a state option that supports working families, addresses a benefit cliff that would otherwise cause working families to lose benefits as their earning rise, and encourages households to save for the future. Okay, encouraging a household to save for the future is a good altruistic idea, but when you don't teach them how to manage their finances,
There is no future.
there is no
Right.
future. Okay, this is what I was alluding to begin with. You know, if they're on the food stamp program, offer training through the state or local government in order, you know how you go to community colleges or universities or colleges and stuff, and they have job placement programs where that where they help you with your resume, where they give you the training that you need while you're a student to become an intern or apprenticeships. Why can't we do that while offering budgetary assistance while they're on these food stamps to help them get off the food stamps?
And they're free programs, they're free classes that you go to. You don't have to pay a cent.
Yeah.
And you get to learn these life lessons that can be applied for you to getting off welfare.
Yeah.
Just imagine a public school system that taught personal finance.
I remember they used to do that when I was in high school. They used to
Yes,
teach
they
that.
did.
Yep. Drug tests for assistance. See, they did implement that in some states, if not all states, Chagrin. The problem is it wound up being more expensive to implement the drug tests.
And also, there was such a big stink. Like, I live in a blue state, and they put up such a big stink about that, so finally they just took it off.
Yep. That was
And by the way, Chagrin, you're evil. White chicken, evil woman. You're evil.
Yep. Straight Sith male. In New Mexico, if you have a medical marijuana card, you're not allowed food stamps or government assistance.
Nice.
Wow.
I like that idea. That's a good idea, though, because imagine.
Well, I mean, it's
I
still
can
medical.
kind of see that because if you can afford the marijuana,
You can afford food.
go
Yeah.
go get a fucking bag of
Oh.
trail mix or something.
Okay, Fuckwad brought up a classic.
Imagine
Imagine a public school that taught.
period. Right?
Indeed.
Eliminate the minimum benefit, which would cut benefits to 2 million individuals, many low-income seniors, and people with disabilities. Penalize large families by capping SNAP benefits at the level for a household of 6. And eliminate all spending for SNAP nutrition education. Okay, if what they mean by SNAP nutrition education is, I mean, they don't offer this in Georgia. You get put on SNAP, you have to prove that you're looking for a job, period, in order for you to keep your benefits. Okay? The only way that I would agree to keeping a program like this is if you are on SNAP to have to go to nutritional classes to learn how to eat healthy.
Yep.
Okay, that
And
was...
they-
Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say also they should put on EBT cards. If they could put up the food boxes on there, they should be able to put like a list to where you can't buy anything unless it's those foods,
Yeah.
recommended by the government or from the food box, something like that.
Right. You should not be able to buy Mountain Dew with your fucking
Exactly.
EBT card because
Or
it's
Doritos
it's not a nutritional requirement.
Yeah.
That should be only nutritional food that the government, approves of. That should be on. That should be able to get, and that will cut a lot of it right there.
Yep. Chagrin
People
says...
will become miserable.
Oh, yeah. Chagrin says, I do like the idea of recipients to do a minimum amount of community service for assistance. And
That's a
she
good
also
idea.
goes on to say that way they get a sense of you don't work, you don't eat drilled into their heads, too.
That's an awesome idea.
Conservative California. The public school in California are so bad, we don't even have nurses at our local school, at least the high school that I went to while I was there.
Jeez.
Wow.
Wow.
SNAP is a highly effective program targeted to households that need its help to meet their basic food needs. With a small average benefit of just $1.40 per person per meal, it lifts millions out of poverty. No, it doesn't. And it has demonstrated long-term benefits for children that participate, including better health. Okay, see,
Nope.
that's a gross generalization because
Yes, it is.
Ronan's sister, when she was on food stamps, she'd spend $50 of that on cases of Dr. Pepper and Mr. Pibb.
See?
Yep, Mitch's point's been proven.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I'm
it's
not...
been demonstrated.
Also on Pringles,
Demonstrate, thank you.
also on Pringles and Little Debbie's.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Right? 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 Needless to say, she and I would butt heads. And she would also buy, like, microwave foods and shit, which also made my eye twitch on more than one occasion.
A little
She is a
bit, yeah.
butthead.
Yeah. Well, I proved to her by allowing me to use my food stamps the way I wanted to actually buy the foods that I wanted to buy. And when she realized that what I was buying lasted longer than the shit food she would buy, she went, okay, you can do the grocery shopping.
Well, there
Yeah,
you
'cause
go.
she was buying candy crack, basically.
And not healthy. It
Yeah.
makes you even hungrier.
Yeah.
And it's a waste of money.
Jacob, Mr. Pibb is Coke's version of Dr. Pepper.
Wow, there's people that don't know what Mr. Pibb is. We're old.
Yeah.
Dang.
G. Bronner, my sister did the same type of thing. I mean, it's just, most people were bitching that these people on food stamps are buying lobster and steak and blah, blah, blah. Well, if they bought it on sale, I don't have a problem with that. My problem is when I am behind somebody in line at a grocery store that has a cart full of potato chips, soda, Little Debbie's, Hostess, bullshit food, and they pull out a food stamp card.
Yeah, it's pre-processed shit.
Yeah.
And even back in the 70s, you could buy cigarettes with food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to the program and what you can and can't buy, the government fails.
Yeah.
And if Trump is serious about this whole SNAP thing, then you should put those filters in place to where you try to buy some soda, it's going to deny you.
Yeah. It said, straight Sith mail, also every reservation in America gets the government cheese and 18 money. Chagrin. I was on WIC when I was pregnant with my son. I got free milk, cheese, fruits, and veggies. That's when I learned to cook.
Look at that. See?
Yep. What we have on the screen now is the fiscal year 2018 minimum SNAP allotment. This is the least amount of food stamps you could get. In 48 states and D.C., they will give you down to $15 a month for food stamps.
Wait, 15?
$15. $15 a month for food stamps.
What can you use $15? That's 15 ramens.
It depends on where and how you buy, but yeah.
Right. Most ramen is $5 or $6 to $1.
Oh, okay. That you have enough for a month. All right, that works then.
But you got nothing to put in it.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, good point.
Maybe spend a little bit of that money on some seeds. Buy
There you
yourself
go.
some seeds, grow some carrots, maybe some onion.
Yeah.
Get a cow. Get some milk.
Well,
And cheese. Well, I need cheese in my ramen. Otherwise, I suffer.
but shit, there are options.
Yes, there is options, and $50 a month is kind of ridiculous, but if that's all you have, you'll find a way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the
When there's a
minimum
will,
level
there's
of
a way.
assistance, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure most people probably get like over the $90 limit, I would think.
Here we go. Chagrin. Oil, flour, oil, baking powder, milk, boom, fry bread.
There you
Yep.
go.
There you go.
Sounds good.
All right. Eligibility requirements. First one over here. And this is
Okay.
going to be a slideshow. Yeah. What we're showing you right now is the gross income, all the different eligibility standards for fiscal year 2018. They change depending on how many children you have in your family. Okay? What gets me is, and what's always stuck in my craw is, what is your gross pay?
It's that's a pre-tax pay.
Right. That's what they ask you when you go in, and that's what they look at when you show them your pay stubs. The gross pay. Not the net pay.
Sneaky little bastards.
The gross pay. That's how they calculate your eligibility. Now, I remember the first time my mom had to talk me into getting on food stamps, and yes, she had to talk me into getting on food stamps. And she said, well, your gross pay is... I said, excuse me? She said, what? I said, if I was actually getting my gross pay, do you think I'd be in this office?
Right?
Exactly.
She said, well, that's the way it works. She goes, and then we need to know, what bills you're paying, and this is exactly what she listed.
Wow.
Rent, utilities.
Okay, yeah.
What's wrong with that
Well,
picture?
Uh,
No insurance isn't considered a utility. Cell phones aren't considered utilities.
gas.
Nope.
Gas for your vehicle.
Gas for your vehicle, insurance for your vehicle,
Oh, a
and car
vehicle
payments.
itself.
Yeah, and car payments
Yeah.
aren't considered.
Things that you are required by law to pay for.
Yeah, they don't consider part of your expenses that they factor in order to check your eligibility for food stamps.
That seems to me like the system process is kind of broken.
It is. Because if they take a look at the fact that let's say I'm paying $150 a month for a car payment, and I'm paying, let's say, $60 a month in insurance, it's $210. Well, they look at that $210 and they say, well, if you can afford to pay $210 a month for a car and insurance, then you don't need food stamps because you can use that $210 a month for food. Well, if I use that $210 a month for food, how the fuck am I going to get to work and back?
Right. You're not going to have a roof over your head. You have no electricity. You have nothing cold.
Whoops. We had a Merlin
Yep.
robot out. He may have to restart his Discord. I mean, it doesn't take it doesn't take these are the problems inherent in the system. They say they want
Well, yeah.
you to eventually to get off food stamps, but whenever you make improvements, they either
They
cut
cut
you
the
off
benefits
completely. Yeah, they either cut you off completely or they tell you, well, you can't get that if you still want to be on the food stamps.
Panini says student loans as well.
Yeah, student loans. Another thing they sit there and they go, well, you live, and this, the first time I was strapped for money, somebody said, well, if you live in Georgia, you have, mass transit. I already told Merlin this. The first time Ronan tried to go on mass transit, it was 6 hours round trip to and from work every day for Ronan on buses and trains.
That's so exhausting.
Plus the 8 hours that he had to work once he got to work. So 14 hours a day he'd spend gone. And his travel was almost as much as the hours he spent at work.
Wow.
Jesus, just reading the stuff in the chat, it really doubles down my opinion that these welfare type programs are really just a means to create slaves.
Yeah.
I know I'm stupid, but how do rebates work? Because I barely remember.
Welcome to Coffee
rebate-
Talk, Catskin Siren. I believe this is your first time here, so pull up a chair in your favorite brew and join in the conversation.
To answer your question, Merlin, a rebate works as you buy a product and then you mail off a thing to get X percentage back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Well,
Because Chagrin was talking about she uses a rebate app, and I was just curious.
Hundley, if you don't work, you don't get paid. You don't get paid, you don't eat. You don't eat, you don't shit. You don't shit, you die.
Yeah. No, see, it's
That's
even
on the
in
Twitch side.
It's even in the Bible that says that if you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah. I mean,
Simple.
it's ridiculous to see, all the requirements that they put on you, and then instead of just gradually weaning you off of it and helping you manage your budget to the point where you can work food and other things back into your budget and put stuff back to save, they just go, okay, you got a 50-cent an hour raise, we're cutting your food stamps. Well, that 50-cent an hour raise don't mean shit when most of your money was going to bills to begin with. And that food stamp bill was feeding your family. So you're cutting me off of something that I was feeding my family with. Now you're leaving me worse off than I was before.
Not to mention when you elevate to a new tax bracket.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
Straight Sith Mail asks, how much food do you think you can grow in a low-income apartment? Actually, you can grow herbs and some smaller vegetables.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And while those won't fill you up and be a complete diet for you, they can help to, I'm going to use that word again, supplement your existing, what do you call, supper plans. I don't know.
So does that mean that they have to depend on those herbs? Supplement means to depend on, right?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No. Supplement means it's in addition to.
Oh. Now it makes sense.
We're out of peanut butter, Gunny. Dun, 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 dun. Scandalous. I gotta get a ride to the store tomorrow so I can get some peanut butter for the dog. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program includes earnings incentives.
Or shit.
Novel idea. Let's see here. Number one. What?
Hold on. But so Grant says that she can grow strawberries on the balcony.
Yep, most definitely.
There you go.
Hang on just a second.
Basically, what the smaller fruits and vegetables and herbs will do for you is they will add other nutritional components to your existing diet. They're not meant to fill you up.
Yeah.
And it enhances the food that you're eating.
Yep.
And it does make a lot of it taste better too. Yes.
Yeah.
The SNAP benefit design has 4 key features that support work. Number 1, an entitlement structure that guarantees food assistance will be available to any eligible applicant when they need it.
Eligible.
A benefit formula that favors earned income over other income through an earned income deduction. Yeah. A benefit phase-out structure that decreases benefits gradually as income rises. And a state option to ease the modest benefit cliff.
If this doesn't prove that the government doesn't care about the little person that's stuck on this program, because look at this, the way they're saying, they really don't care.
No.
Because it's a bureaucracy. And a bureaucracy is basically a nameless monster blob that doesn't care about people.
Yep.
No, bureaucracies basically exist to ensure their own employment.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that too.
That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons they want more people on these programs.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Let me see here. Oh, there was an example. Maybe that's in the next one. So, among SNAP households with at least one working age non-disabled adult. Let me stress that. More than half work. Yeah. More than half work while receiving SNAP, and more than 80% work in the year before or after receiving SNAP. Some policy workers have expressed concerns that SNAP participants... Am I muted? No.
No.
All right.
No,
The SNAP
we can hear you.
participants have a disincentive to take a job or earn additional pay because their benefits fall when their earnings rise. In addition, an employer's offer of a new job or the promise of additional hours can be unreliable. As a result, critics worry that workers are, or perceive they are, better off financially by avoiding employment gains that could put their benefits at risk. Ronan's sister was a perfect fucking example of this. Because I tried to get the woman to become a freelance graphic artist because she was absolutely a fucking whiz. Good evening, God Pikachu, at creating anything that was graphic art. She came up with more excuses as to why not, and she finally told me, well, if I did that, I'd earn too much money and I'd have my food stamps taken away.
I have an ex-friend. He went to college to become an artist. He was talented. Oh my God, he was really talented in what he did. In fact, did a school when everyone graduated had an art gallery display, and his was the only art that was sold that day. But he rather depended on the government, and his degree was gathered dust, and he hasn't done anything with his life in the past 10 years.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because of the government. I stopped becoming friends with him because he wouldn't listen to me. So I was like, I just can't handle you. And as I know to this day, he got himself on disability because he says he's bipolar. And he's suckling off the government for other benefits. So,
Wow.
I mean, a life that had potential is gone. He's wasted it. And what's going to happen 20 years down the road when he looks back? It's like, I didn't do anything with my life. I suck.
Yeah. Yes, that some programs such as child care, housing assistance are not funded to serve all eligible people. When a worker's income increases to a level such that she becomes ineligible for those supports, she may not easily be able to obtain help from those programs again if her income falls, since there may be a long wait list to participate. I used to know somebody that worked for the same law firm that I did that was on Section 8 housing. All she had to do was place one call and say that she had been laid off and she didn't have to pay rent.
Jesus Christ.
Section 8 took care of her rent for her. Right. SNAP rules give preferential treatment to earned income over unearned income, like Social Security or cash assistance. First, the program disregards 20% of earned income when calculating benefits. Those would be the taxes. This disregard is meant to reflect income spent on work-related expenses, like transportation and clothing, that is therefore not available for food purchases. As a result of the earnings deduction, a household with earnings will receive a larger SNAP benefit than a household of the same size and gross income in which income comes from unearned sources. So an unemployed worker who has the opportunity to replace his income from unemployment insurance or cash assistance with earnings will take home more total income with earnings and SNAP than with unearned income and SNAP. And here is that little table over here. So let me highlight this in blue. Households with earnings get higher SNAP benefits. Family A, household size, monthly gross income, blah, blah, blah. So we have Family B, household size 3. Oh, good. Oh, okay. Family A, 3. Family B, 3. Family A, gross income, $1,650 a month, 100% of poverty. All right. $1,650 a month, 100% of poverty. Earnings, income source, Social Security, income source. Monthly SNAP benefit, $261. Social Security, $112. What's wrong with this fucking picture?
Wow.
What's wrong with that picture?
I'll tell you what, being on Social Security, you get beat up.
I'll tell you what's wrong with that picture. We all pay into Social Security. That's our fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Stop withholding it.
It just proves that it favors those who are not willing to work and be lazy.
You know,
it promotes laziness.
Yeah. Hello, Evil Gunny.
Well, there is that. Hey, Gunny.
Hey, Gunny.
What gets me is that, like I said, we pay into Social Security. It's our fucking money.
Yeah.
Right.
And honestly, they keep the Social Security budget's going to run low soon. You know, they keep throwing that at us. Well, you know what? You keep inventing money out of nowhere for everything else. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Invent that money for Social Security, you cunts.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, it says, note, this sample assumes each family claims the $155 standard deduction and has $915 in monthly shelter costs, which only leaves the recipient of Social Security $935 for the rest of the month, period.
Only.
The median value for all SNAP households of 3 with gross income between 75% and 125% of poverty, based on the fiscal year 2015 SNAP household characteristics data. Family A can claim the 20% earned income deduction, $330, while Family B cannot.
I'm glad. I'm so happy Trump is doing something about this.
That's ridiculous. This really does go back to why I'm tired of supporting every other country in the world.
Yeah.
Amen.
We have a hard enough time trying to take care of ourselves.
Well, yeah, we can't take care of ourselves. You know, the government keeps stealing our money to throw into all these other programs that have no real benefit for us.
Ooh, chagrin. And you, if you are a man paying child support, they count that money and you won't qualify in Texas.
Yep.
And also, in America, the poor class is a minority in our country compared to like middle class. I hate using the word class, but to the middle class or upper middle class, poverty is lower compared to the middle class. So therefore, the programs should be more structured to help those people, like we talked about earlier, get these people out of the programs. Yeah. Everybody's going to need help. That's obvious. Everyone's going to need help. And that help should have a time limit.
Yep.
I think, what was it, 3 months I think it was they wanted to do?
Yeah.
Just 3 months on the benefits, and then either you find work or you better have a damn good reason why you need 3 more months of benefits.
It's a 3-month recertification process. So every 3 months you have to recertify for food stamps.
I like that idea, because that forces them to get off the couch, and it forces them that they have to do something anyway.
Oh yeah. SNAP benefits gradually phase out as earning rises. The orange is the monthly SNAP benefit, and the blue is the monthly earnings. So here, this is an example of what he wants to do. So this is nothing but food stamps, but as they make more money, the food stamps are gradually phased out until they're not receiving any more benefits. Which to me makes more sense than I said earlier, getting that 50-cent raise and no more food stamps.
Yeah, that cliff idea is stupid.
Yeah, that cliff idea is absolutely ridiculous.
But the gradual thing, I like that because that kind of weeds them off the program.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, I believe there should be mandatory classes for them to go to, financial classes that they have to attend.
Yeah.
Like so many, you know how you have to have so many hours?
Mm-hmm.
I believe they should go to classes that teaches them more about being financially fiscal and all that stuff.
Financially independent.
Thank you. And when they finally get off the system, they're not going to be like, oh no, what am I going to do?
Yeah, and here is this is the example I was looking for. For example, a single mother with 2 children working full-time, $12 an hour, would have income at 125% of the poverty level and receive about $170 a month from SNAP, making up 8% of her total monthly income. If her hourly wage increased by just 50 cents or $86 a month, lifting her income just above 130% of FPL, which is the poverty line, $2,144 for a family of 3 in fiscal year 2015, the family would become ineligible for SNAP under federal income eligibility cutoff. In this circumstance, the household's loss of SNAP benefits would more than cancel out the higher earnings and leave the family worse off. Their total monthly resources would decline by about $84 a month. See Figure 2. As noted above, this issue affects a small share of SNAP households. Only 2% of non-elderly, non-disabled households have income from earnings between 120 and 130% of the poverty line. In other words, that's the example of the cliff they referred to earlier.
Right.
Yep.
And by the way, Panini, I didn't know you had class. And Chagrin, excellent idea. Let's cut all this diversity departments and let's get the government out of healthcare. Let the state decide what is good for them.
Yes, completely
Yes.
agree. Ichi Fatum supplementing those supplements. Hunley, they out to fuck us all. Cannibalism is a viable option on the Twitch side.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Chagrin. I think it should be the state's decision. What works in one state won't work across the board. Also, don't let the government bail out states. I completely
I
agree.
agree with that last part.
I agree.
I agree with that last part as well.
We saw how bad that worked out last time.
Mm-hmm.
Shovel-ready jobs.
Yeah,
It was a total flop.
that
Yeah,
was a
shoveling
total
shit.
flop.
Pretty much. You know what they did in my state? They didn't improve our roads that needed it. They made sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did with the money.
Yep.
Sidewalks.
Yep. Categorical eligibility smooths the benefit phase out and encourages work. Monthly earnings in blue, monthly SNAP benefit in orange. So under traditional federal eligibility rules, using state option to limit income cutoff. So yeah, there's your cliff right there. You're okay,
wait.
you earned this much, you're fucked.
Oh, I lost the chart. Where's the chart at? I'm sorry. Oh, I found it. Okay.
Yep.
I'm with you now.
Number 3 in your Evernote notes. Yep.
I'm here.
All right, so you see here where we've got the $2,150 total resources, no food stamps. And then we've got this over here that's gradually cutting them down from 170 to 139. That's a better way of doing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It is.
Because you're not screwing the person that's actually trying to better themselves.
Well, you're not disincentivizing success.
No,
Right.
you're not.
You're enhancing it. You're having them, have the self-awareness to take care of themselves and be proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
got to
like
give
that.
them a sense of accomplishment. To me, the more,
Exactly.
I feel that I've accomplished something, the more I want to accomplish.
That's all
Yes.
people. People accomplish something and people approve of it. They feel better about themselves and they'll want to go a little bit harder.
Yeah.
It's natural. That's how man works.
Yeah.
But the government squashes all that.
Yeah.
Makes
This-
you a little drone.
I think this is...
Yeah, here's what I want to see.
What?
This is what I want to know. I want to know for every $100 in assistance, how much does it cost to run the agencies that determine whether or not that assistance is doled out?
Yeah.
For every, I want a side-by-side comparison, because if it costs like $1,200 to give out $100, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Chagrin, keep on talking about cupcakes. Damn it.
No, because Chagrin said maybe I should run for political office. Is cupcakes a good campaign strategy? Pride in taking care of your family is a good thing. Evil Gunny to Chagrin. Hookers are better than pastries for politics.
Hey, she already has my vote. I love the pastry.
Jay Willie, is the mainstream left as opposed to productivity? Yes, that's what they want to keep you dependent on the system.
A slave.
Right. They want it basically. Maybe not slave, but they certainly want you to be human capital.
Yeah.
Because what happens around voting time? They're going to vote for those benefits. They're going to vote for the party that gives those benefits.
Because they believe in the party that's dangling the golden goose's egg.
Exactly. Which proves that the politics, these political parties don't care about you. You're just a vote.
I mean, the Republicans do the same thing, just in a different direction.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
I mean, really, if we want to, one of the first steps to fixing this kind of stuff in this country, we have to, as the people, do away with Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah. All right. Here's
the way to do that is to not vote for them if you can avoid it.
Oh yeah, and here we go. It says serving more than 40 million low-income beneficiaries per person per month for fiscal year of 2015. SNAP benefits are 100% federally funded, but states share 50% of the administrative costs with the federal government. A majority of the proposed savings would come from making states match a portion of the cost of benefits issued to participants.
Works for me.
Yeah.
That's a good way to wean the states off the government tit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, also, too, different states have different costs of living.
Gunny.
Yes.
Gunny will not let go that I'm a penguin.
No, he won't. It's booking you. Hashtag disarm radical penguins.
Damn straight.
Hey!
You damn rebel penguin, you.
I know, what can I say?
Yep, as we've already seen, other changes proposed by the Trump administration include cutting back eligibility and imposing additional work requirements. The Office of Management and Budget Director Rick Mulvaney was quoted as saying, we want you to have a little bit of skin in the game and help us because you know how to make the programs better to improve the programs and save money. In other words, giving the states flexibility to improve the administration of the program. Because states know what's best for each state, seeing how the cost of living is higher or lower depending on where you live in that state. So,
I don't know if you covered this, the number about how many this affects. 40 million is affected, but 6 million, 4 million lose right away. So this cuts straight on 36 million people.
Yeah.
And from this, they're hoping to cut another 2 million off it.
Yep. But
So
I mean,
they're working hard to try to get people off these benefits.
yeah. I mean, these are people that, it's one thing to need it. It's another thing to do everything you can not to get off it.
Right.
Okay? Which leads us to the next part of the show, which is there were about 640,000 investigations into SNAP fraud in 2014. A recent report from the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities found about 54% of those cases were ultimately dismissed because investigators were unable to turn up evidence of fraud. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's hard to find fraud when it comes to this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people are smart, but others are stupid. But we're talking about a card now that people are using for drug money, but it's hard to prove when the evidence is not there. You got to catch them with the money, the drugs, and the card in possession.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, the way it's done is I'll go to the supermarket with my hand full of money.
Yeah. Someone
with a SNAP card will say, hey, we'll buy everything that you're buying on my card and just give me the cash.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much like a triangle trade because they're trading, the card for cash for drugs.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case. Sometimes they want to be able to buy something that they need that they can't get with the card. Maybe they need a new pair of shoes.
Well, it's like when it used to be paper stamps. I remember, kids being given $1 a stamp a piece to go into the local store, buy a nickel piece of candy, come back out, give cash change to the person who gave them the stamp so that person can walk into the convenience store and buy themselves a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Also, like somebody will pay like $100 worth of food stamps for $50.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
they get the $50. They get $50, go buy their drugs or whatever, and then the person with the $100 food stamps basically saved a lot of money when they go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It says, when state drug agents arrested Paul Robinson in January 2014 for selling crack cocaine from his Bartlett Street apartment, they seized guns, drugs, and cash, a typical evidence haul for a suspect drug dealer. But also in Robinson's possession that day were 6 state-issued electronic benefits transfer cards, EBT.
My.
Essentially,
Oh my.
Essentially, debit cards loaded with welfare benefits and some benefits available as cash from state and federal programs meant to help poor families and children. Those cards had been reported lost or stolen by their owners 114 times and reissued by the state, meaning the cards.
Maine. This is from a Maine article, so this is just one state that has to deal with this problem.
Exactly. Meaning the cards and benefits were most likely being traded for illegal drugs, officials said. Filed in U.S. District Court in Portland, prosecutors referred to the EBT card as a common currency for drugs.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta talk to Chagrin here in the chat a little bit.
Okay.
Chagrin asks, if community service was required, would that cost more in bureaucracy and red tape? Yes, it would. Yeah, it would actually, because now you got to get frickin' OSHA involved.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to get people in there. It's going to create a whole new department because there has to be a department to monitor who's doing what job where and for how long and when do we send someone else in to replace person one, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
It really will create a whole other level of bureaucracy, and that's what we don't want.
Yep.
Right.
Jay Willie says this is why the mainstream left isn't progressive but rather regressive, because progressivism aimed to get rid of welfare dependents originally by making sure they didn't breed. Yeah, I remember that. Here in Georgia, they actually tried to institute state law saying that if you had any more children while currently under benefits of food stamps and not trying to improve your income situation, that your food stamps would be cut off.
At the turn of the century, the 1900s, they used eugenics. So
Yeah.
if they believed you weren't worthy for the system, they got rid of you.
Mm-hmm.
You want to really recognize something. It seems to me that the political class in this country really wants to be royalty.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And my recommendation there, like I've said before, is to vote them out. But here's how: go through their voting record, which you can do online, and vote them out if they've ever voted for a pay raise for themselves.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yep.
Which I think.
And you'll have a new Congress inside of a month.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that.
David Bugatti says welfare people should be drug tested twice a month.
I mean, it's already been proven when they actually instituted in some states the drug testing in order to be eligible, that it wound up being more expensive to do the drug tests than actually just giving the benefits out.
Yeah, it's not cost effective.
No.
I suggest making it, creating a situation where they're motivated to get off the assistance.
That's why I said
even
that
people on drugs, when their benefits get cut, because they found $20 a week,
Mm-hmm.
and their benefits start to decrease, and they realize they're going to have to start working more and more if they want to get more and more money. Well, they're going to start saying, "Hey, yeah, you know what? Maybe $80 an hour in cocaine is an expense I don't need to pay. Maybe I should cut that down to 60."
Yeah.
And like I said, I really think the Labor Department should start working together with these classes.
They should.
And you have to pass these classes, and when you pass these classes, then you could be off the program, and you have a set of skills that you can use that you can survive in this world.
Yeah, and they should not get paid you mean retroactively? Because I would agree with that. They shouldn't get paid when the government gets shut down. Yeah.
No, they should.
No.
Oh, another thing on the drug testing.
Mhm.
Do we have a special rule there for people who spend all day drinking?
Yeah.
There we go.
Because alcohol's not illegal.
No. You got a point there. Chagrin says Congress pay should equal officer pay. Police officer pay, that is.
Pikachu says, Pika Pika. Sorry, I had to do that.
Gunny, I think the price goes up depending on what you're looking for in a blood test.
Pika Pika says, yeah, they do actually. It came out in the news this week that it cost the DWP 100 million pounds. I think that's pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
To stop people from getting benefits they're entitled to. I don't. DWP, is that like the welfare department?
I think so.
So they're trying to do something to get people off the benefits too.
Well, I mean, it's just, I remember when I had to get on food stamps, and we had just moved here, and we walked into the office, we were given this orientation, we were given 5 sheets of paper, and these sheets of paper were proof of the fact that we were looking for employment. Okay? And then they said, well, if you need further training, then there's a Goodwill with a training center downtown. Here's a temporary MARTA card with 10 trips on it, so you can go over there and tell them what kind of jobs you're looking for, and if you need any excess training. So we go over there. We fill out another form, what we're qualified to do. Then we're told that we need to come back to downtown to another workshop so they can orientate us some more.
Orientations. Oh my goodness.
Yes, orientations, and it just to give us pieces of paper that say, well, if you want to be able to be properly trained, you can go to this community college. Motherfucker, the main reason I'm here is because I can't afford to go to college to begin with.
Right.
Yep.
Gotta love bureaucracy.
You know, it wouldn't, to me, it doesn't cost anything to approach a lot of these trades, like plumbing, HVAC, carpentry, or some, careers and some blue-collar careers and stuff like that, and go, look, we want to be able to institute this particular apprenticeship program for these people that are looking for gainful employment. Would you be willing to open up a partnership with us by letting us know what type of people you're looking for these apprenticeships, so we can introduce these people to you, so you guys could have a working relationship and they can get back up on their feet?
I have to Pika add some more information here. Pika. Department of Work and Pensions, by the way, pensions. So that's the DWP, and Pika goes on and says it's not to cut down on benefits. It is to deliberately prevent people from claiming benefits. For example, people attempt to get disability benefits. I know all about trying to get disability benefits, and in this country, oh my goodness, they make you feel like you're less than human.
It's a dog and pony show.
It is.
It is.
Gunny, go on.
I was gonna say, when it came to like getting disability, it took me almost 4 years to get disability. And in that time, I had to file bankruptcy. I lost my house, all because the government kept on rejecting me. Finally, I had to see the judge and all that stuff. And the system's rigged, so the lawyers get paid. So you have to go to a lawyer. So that's the only way you would get approved. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's fucking spend all this money so you can get a little bit of money to live minimally. Good plan.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And I finally got a pay raise this year on our living allowance. Around 2%, I think it was.
Yeah. Ooh, that cost
Yeah,
of living raise.
Because cost of living only went up 2% in the last 20 years. Fuck
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Instead of rice and chicken, now you can have ground beef. Holy shit.
Woohoo!
Yeah, instead of rice and chicken, you can have rice and some chicken.
Right?
Oh, there we go.
See, Gunny writes, wide spectrum drug testing is cheaper than paying for generations of EBT Section 8 criminals.
Huh?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, in that case, I believe if you want to be able to get people that are habitual, if they have a history of being arrested for drug offenses, then they should be permanently ineligible for food stamps.
And Hunley makes up I kind of like his statement. He says, yeah, disability sucks. I'd much rather have better medical care.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Pika continues. Yeah. I like Pika. They add an extra layer of bureaucracy between the claimant and the DWP in the form of third party assessors, none of whom are actually qualified to assess disabilities. That's like that here. The state actually determines if I get disability or not, not the government.
Yep.
And not someone with expertise in medical issues.
No, it's not. It's just a regular person that looks through your fires. I got rejected like the second time, and this was the reason. Sit and lift up to 10 pounds. Social.
That roboted on me pretty badly.
I'm sorry. What I was saying was, it said they got the rejection letter second time around saying that the person can sit and lift up to 10 pounds and talk to people. That's why I got rejected.
Okay.
Pika
So
said,
what are you supposed to do? Sit and talk to people about the 10 pounds you lift? I mean,
yeah, exactly. Which I couldn't.
I know they're saying you could work in a phone center, but when you have that excruciating burst of pain and you scream because of it,
yeah,
that's not going to be good on a telephone.
No, no.
We'd like to say this magazine subscription.
Yeah, right.
Huntley said that they told him he was basically fucked.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all these systems, whether it's the UK where Huntley's at or here in the United States, it's either woefully corrupt or so ill run that, it's like, again, like Mitch says, we're three idiots on the internet coming up with these solutions.
Right.
I mean,
we're making more sense. We're making more sense than most politicians.
I mean, what's wrong with bringing back apprenticeships and partnering them with work programs for the government to get people on their feet and to be self-sustaining? There's nothing wrong with that.
You think a plumber wouldn't love to have someone there and say, "Hey, go back to the truck, pick me up the number 3 pipe," or whatever. I don't know what the plumber lingo is because I'm not a plumber. But you think that the plumber's not going to love to have that person there, especially if it's part of a welfare to work kind of training program?
Oh,
definitely. Well, obviously, if it's a lowlife who doesn't want to work and just every time they're told to do something, fuck that guy. He gets kicked out of the program. Yeah, based on what the plumber has to say about him.
Mm-hmm. Can I talk to Huntley real quick about disability? Because he says he's been waiting 6 months to be given an appointment for a pain clinic.
Now he's over in the UK. Keep that in mind.
Oh, okay, so I don't know how the system works.
Socialized medicine.
Okay. In that case, Huntley, you're going to need a lawyer to help you with this because otherwise they're going to keep on throwing you under the bus, and you'll get lost in the paperwork and you'll never get it.
Wow, they told Pikachu that the degenerative neuromuscular disorder he has had been cured.
Oh, really?
Well,
who told you that, Pika?
Wow.
Pika. I take so many painkillers, I hardly know what I'm doing anymore or even what day it is. Pika? I know, I feel you. I'm the same way.
Chagrin says, when I lost my job, we were made to jump through hoops for months only to be told we made $5 too much to qualify. They knew that the first day, but the lady didn't like me, so she decided to mess with me.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Again, Gunny writes, the government drug tests the military, but not freeloaders.
I know. That's a good point, Gunny.
It's a very good point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, we're coming up with solutions. Have budget classes. Have nutrition classes for these people. Have work partnership programs to get these people off of food stamps and on their own 2 feet. Hell, if they're homeless when they come to you, how about an apprenticeship program where they work on a construction crew to build their own house?
There you go. And
even to build their own tiny house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. Pika goes. Of course, he was diagnosed, or Pika. I don't know what sex you are, but was told that by a nurse. The same person who aren't allowed to make diagnoses.
Yeah,
of course. But I mean, mentorship classes, and also check up on the people. Maybe every 6 months or so for the first couple of years. See how they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
No, see, I would say do the checkup a little bit differently. Like in the scenario I came up with the plumber and the apprentice program.
Yeah.
A representative calls the plumber the first day.
Oh, there we go.
And because the plumber's going to have a good idea in that first day. Do I want to bother with this little prick any longer?
Right.
Yeah.
And the plumber may decide, this guy looks like he might be worth something. Let's give him another week. Then they contact him in a week.
Yeah.
There you go. That works.
Yeah.
Kind of like oh no, I'm gonna have a brain fart.
Hello,
forgot
Mad
what-
Dodge. Well, I mean, it's just,
Mad
I mean,
Dodge.
30, 60, and 90-day evaluations from the government to the partner directly isn't too much
Right.
to ask. You know, after 30
Right.
days, is he working out? Is he showing up for work on time? Does he look like he is, got a good grasp of the work that you're showing him? Is he on time? Is he diligent? Is he showing any kind of initiative? Yes, no, this guy isn't going to work. Well, okay, then let's pull him off this program and see if we can find another partner program to put him in until he realizes that, hell, we're going to keep putting you on these motherfucking things because if we take you off this partnership program, you're not getting fucking food stamps.
Yep. Let's see. Gunny writes, "How to be a grown-up, pay your bills, use toothpaste, don't do meth, easy." Yeah, it's like George Carlin said. Life isn't that complicated. There's no need for self-help books because life is not that complicated. You get up, you go to work, you get something to eat, you take one good shit, you go back to bed.
Yep.
You know what the problem is?
What?
People want to make things difficult.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chagrin said she's also been told that she didn't qualify because she was white for the
Oh
benefits.
yeah, I've had that when I was living down in Florida. This was during the Cuban crisis where they were coming over in boats.
Mm-hmm.
A
And
subordinate who called in tired. Sorry,
Yeah.
that just caught my eye, and I want to dig it out with a fucking spoon now.
yeah, my mother went down
I gotta
to
watch
get her
my language.
benefits, and she was denied because she was white. They looked at her. They gave her such a dirty look when she walked in the door, and they looked her up and down. It's like, we're not giving you benefits, and that was it. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, we
it's-
basically starved because somebody's decision not to serve a white person.
I mean, and then there is, when you get off the benefits. I remember when I was a single mom, food stamps and AFDC, which is aid to families with dependent children at the time, which was a welfare check, money, which is now plastic as well. I went from making $4.50 an hour to $5 an hour, and they told me I no longer qualified for AFDC. And they also started trying to say that I owed them a couple of checks. Well,
What?
Oh yeah. I sat down, and me being who I was, and my mom having worked for the government, I have a PhD in CYA. So I sat down and I made copies of every single documentation they sent me. Every
Nice.
stub for every AFDC check they sent me. And when, a pay stub from before I got the raise and a pay stub from after I got the raise, sat down with a detailed letter saying Exhibit A is this, Exhibit B is this, and at the end I said, and I quote, "If I received gross pay, I wouldn't have crawled to you people asking for the money in the first place. I don't owe this. Go over this. You will see that I have proof that I don't owe you anything."
Snap.
They didn't. And I sent
Never
it.
heard from them again.
I
Right.
sent it certified with return receipt to make sure somebody at the fucking welfare office got that motherfucker, and I didn't hear from him after.
Chagrin, what the heck? So the same guy who called in tired, right?
Mm-hmm.
Goes in. He ended up hurting a coworker because he was too lazy to do the job right, and then he burned Chagrin as well.
Wow. Holy crap.
Oh, he's a perfect employee. I would employ him in a heartbeat. I'd just take the matches out of his hands.
Oh my god. Yep. Okay, guys, it is about that time. You can catch the Morning Brew Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we go through the news, recommend other creators and streamers, and Callie puts me through cancer hell. That's Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Mondays and Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Coffee Talk, where we take a little deeper look into political issues, and we are actually going to start taking a deeper look into politicians, it being an election year. So please put us in your notifications. If you like this stream, smack that like button, like we would like to smack our political representative in Congress. If you're first time here and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And if you hit the bell, it may or may not notify you. You never know. You get a 50-50 chance. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mitch the Ripper's channel. Say hi, Mitch.
Hi, Mitch.
We're going to have a American Reality, so there's that one. And thank you for coming, Ichi Fatum. Oh yes, my new executive producer and blog editor, Merlin Wolfhound.
Yay, that's me. I'm a Merlin.
And as I always like to end the stream saying, whether it's coffee or tea, thank you for discussing things with me, and we will see you on the next Coffee Talk. Have a good evening.
Bye, guys.
Giddy, giddy.